that Mr. Kejriwal handed himself. Viewers, yesterday you watched how your channel exposed Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's rupees 45 crore splurge on a spanking new residence. You were shocked to discover that the work was being done at the height of the pandemic. You were angry when we told you that rupees 45 crores was splurged by a government that claimed it had no money. It had no money to purchase oxygenators or ventilators when you and your kin were gasping for air. You were resentful when you realized your trust had been betrayed to splurge on the unheard of creature comforts by a man who swore to you that he would never be enticed by them. Today, viewers, the story gets bigger, much bigger. Your channel has accessed documentary evidence to show that this rupees 45 crore perk was awarded to the Chief Minister by openly flouting due process. That a statutory body, yes viewers, that a statutory body set up by an act of parliament that serves like a watchdog and has the power to scrutinize, to approve, reject or modify proposals was misled for 45 days on what the exact nature and scope of work was being carried out inside the Chief Minister's residence in civil lines. Viewers, here in my hand are crucial documents. Viewers, sanctions of this particular watchdog are imperative, but those sanctions were only sought after the construction had begun. That costs viewers were kept under a cut-off limit so that the sanction of the top brass of the Delhi government's own works department did not have to be taken at all. Given that each of the work orders was less than rupees 10 crores, tenders were not required to be floated, viewers, and neither was the permission of the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi required to be sought. The idea clearly was to spend taxpayer money under the radar without letting the taxpayer, without letting you know for what reason it was being spent. Because the moment, viewers, the Aam Aadmi Party would have said that it was being spent to construct a grand palace for Arvind Kejriwal, you would have asked him. But Mr. Kejriwal, you told us that you would never want to live in a glittering ivory tower. You told us that you were abstemious. You weren't concerned with creature comforts and material wealth like the other VVIPs of Lutyens' Delhi. Viewers, all those inconvenient questions that you could have asked, viewers, were never asked because you were never told. Now let's take this one by one. I always present the hard facts to you, viewers. Hard facts so that you can get the closest to the truth. And once you know the truth, viewers, you can build your arguments, you can ask the questions, and we will again hope, viewers, that you will be coming out there tonight once again on our show and asking questions, because we're going to invite you to do this. Now, viewers, what can we tell you? Pay attention to your screens and let me walk you through this. The Delhi Urban Arts Commission is a watchdog. It is set up by an act of parliament that must approve any proposal that deals with any construction of specific kinds. But viewers, this watchdog notes that on And this is a note, viewers, from the 6th of November 2020, the height of COVID, viewers, that the work was begun even without seeking sanction from the watchdog. It says it is mentioned in the project details that the site work has already commenced. Construction can only commence after approval. This is very clearly written here, after approval. The question then is very simple. How did work start at least 60 days before the panel's approval was taken? That's a fundamental question. In the same meeting, again, viewers, 6/11/2020, just go on to the Delhi Urban Arts Commission's website. Go to this date and you can access this for yourself. This is a very transparent country now, viewers. But the DUAC made another observation. This watchdog made another observation, which shows how the statutory body set up by an act of parliament was misled. This document here clearly states, as per the subject, proposal is for additions and alterations. However, it's clearly evident that an entirely new building is being proposed by demolishing the existing structure. This needs clarification. This needs clarification. Here it is, viewers, very clearly mentioned. As I told you, you can look up the DUAC website. Find this for yourself. Date is 6/11/2020. These are the minutes of the meeting. Go and look for it on your own if you don't believe me. Now, viewers, I have another document. This is from the 11th of December, 2020. The third document, which I'm going to show you, shows that even in its second sitting, remember they asked for clarifications? Well, the Aam Aadmi Party kindly gave them a clarification. But it is noticed that the commission did not approve the building plan proposal. Here it is. Very easily it is denoted here. Very easily. And that once again, the panel gave specific observations to the Delhi government and asked them to clarify. So why didn't AAP government clarify to the panel as asked about misleading the panel? That's the specific question. Why didn't AAP government clarify to the panel as asked about misleading the panel? It was asked clearly. Why did you mislead? But it didn't clarify. Now, viewers, I've shown you these documents. Now, within a week, the Aam Aadmi Party goes back to the panel. And this document shows how it was only on 18 December 2020 when the DUAC gave its approval. The minutes of the meeting say revised proposal was approved with observations. The question is, why did AAP approach the panel for sanction 50 days after work began? And viewers, if the DUAC doesn't clear, if this watchdog doesn't clear the work, the MCD, the Municipal Corporation of Delhi, cannot approve it. Now, viewers, you and I know that any municipality will come down on you heavily if you even make a small extension in your home. If you remove a window or add a balcony or enclose one, they will come. They'll ask you. They'll fine you. Because you need a prior approval from the MCD. Even for your own residences. And this is a heritage building, viewers. So it had to have the approval first of the watchdog, then of the MCD. Now we show you how on 1st September 2020, 100 days before the approval by the watchdog, close to 8 crores was sanctioned by the state for addition and alteration in the additional accommodation in Chief Minister's residence. It says construction cost of rupees 7 crores, 91 lakhs, 19,400 has been approved. Now, viewers, can you imagine your money? He was taking your money. The Aam Aadmi Party was dipping its hands into your taxpayer savings to spend on a project that at that point hadn't been approved. How do we know, viewers, that the cost was actually what they claim it was for all these works? We don't know. Remember, there was no tendering process. And these are all the work notes, viewers. These are all of them. Work orders. And there are many of them here. Each one of these work orders, viewers, is very interesting. The work began, no sanction. Remember, the funds were sanctioned in at least 5 tranches for the construction of the CM residence. Therefore, I have 5 work orders in my hand, viewers. 5 of them. A look at the work sanctions will show how all the costs were kept deliberately under 10 crores. Take a look at this. The first sanction was for 7.92 crores. The second one was for 1.64 crores. The third sanction was for 909 crores. The fourth was for 8.68 crores. Then rupees 9.34 crores. But why were all costs under rupees 10 crores? Here's why. Because the office memorandum of the Government of Delhi's Finance Department of 2019 says that for expenses, and here it is, viewers, here is the office memorandum. For expenses below 10 crores, there is no need to take the approval of the Public Works Department Secretary or that of the Engineer-in-Chief. These are the 2 top people. Only an HOD's approval is required, head of department. This meant that even the LG had no clue, and more significantly, the AAP didn't need to float any tender for the work. Viewers, it could easily just ask its own minister, Satyendra Jain. And you know where Satyendra Jain is, viewers? He's in jail, getting massaged. Satyendra Jain would therefore, I wouldn't trust him with public funds. But the AAP did, viewers. He busily sanctioned 45 crores, merrily did so, thinking that, wow, I can do a favor at public expense. So my boss will love me. Satyendra Jain signed off, viewers, no questions asked. The LG had no clue. The Engineer-in-Chief of the PWD department had no clue. The Secretary of the department had no clue. Some HOD underling, also eager to please, most probably, viewers, signed off. Was a tender put out? No. So you hire an architect, you hire this, you hire contractors without tender. And viewers, you are billing the government, you and I, 10 lakhs for each curtain. You're going to hang up more than 1 crore of curtains. You are spending on marble flooring. How do you even know that there were no other alternatives that could have been given cheaper? You never asked for a tender. Viewers, today, the BJP and the Congress say that they are smelling, they have latched on to the scent of illegality. That this is no longer about just mere morality, about spending during a dance of death during the corona episode. This is not about that anymore. This is about a whiff, according to the BJP and the Congress, a whiff of illegality. And viewers, let me ask some basic questions. We are joined first and foremost by some who purport to speak tonight in defense of Mr. Kejriwal. Dr. Irsan Trivedi, sympathizer of the Aam Aadmi Party, contributor to the cause, is here with us. Let me first begin with him. Dr. Trivedi, my first question to you, sir. An expense is incurred on behalf of the public. It's your money, my money, all of ours money, 45 crores. Forget about the timing, because that was yesterday's discussion. On a proposal that has not even been approved by a watchdog set up by Parliament for precisely this reason. And here, sir, for your benefit, I have taken out a document from the website, sir, of the DUAC, which tells me a little bit about the powers of the DUAC. And they have the power, sir, to go out there and strike down, approve, even contest the request for an approval. Why wasn't this approval taken?
Rahulji, actually I was trying to adjust my eyesight so hard that along with these things, I think you might have brought the documents of bringing that why Vijay Rupani ji bought 195 crore of aeroplane. Why Shivraj Singh Chauhan sir's, residents, they also needed 20 crore just for renovation, simple renovation. Why Narendra Modi sir's residents is asking for 500 crores of rupees of getting a PM house to be built.
Yeah.
I mean, I was actually thinking that because media is not biased, so I was actually hoping to see those documents too on this channel, but unfortunately, I'm not able to see that. So my answer to this thing is that the building was 80 years old, and of course, whatever the procedure has been done, I mean, there might be some plus or minus, but I hope that whatever happened. I mean, okay. any government, I mean, have you seen any government that spending 1 crore of rupees those who died on the front? I mean, why this debate has not been done, and why there is a debate on that spending of 45 crore
so
after
Doctor,
a rebuilding of the house.
Wonderful, lovely questions tonight from Dr. Trivedi.
My request is this is the country. This is the country where people are not asking that PM's degree, and you are bringing the documents of somebody who has.
Okay, no, these are beautiful questions, Dr. Trivedi. Why can't we hear him? Something happened to him, Dr. Trivedi? Can you hear me? Have you muted yourself?
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
So okay, no, hang on. Very good questions. And I was anticipating some of them, so I actually did a little bit of research. Now, you talked about the aircrafts, right? Wide body planes for Modi, right? How 8,000 crores were going to be spent on purchasing these. This is your first question, right? ये क्यों नहीं आपने Rahul Shivshankar पूछा? Because you are such a journalist who believes in omitting facts. Right? That's the question. So let me answer you, sir. Please have the patience.
Yeah, please.
Viewers, here is a fact check. Yes, PM Modi, the President Kovind, the Vice President will be getting a new plane. And in the recent budget speech by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, 810 crores was allocated for the purchase of 2 new aircraft for special extra section flight operations. This provision is on top of an estimated 4,000 crore allocated to the government over the past 2 years. The 2 aircraft, the Boeing 777-300ER, would replace the nearly 25-year-old Boeing 747. Now, Mr. Kejriwal, viewers, spends 45 crores to replace a building that was made during the British era. Now, viewers, let me tell you, the process for procuring these planes had began around a decade ago in 2011. Dr. Trivedi and the Aam Aadmi Party will not tell you this. Under the UPA government, and the Modi government has simply brought this process to its logical conclusion. These aircrafts are not the PM's aircrafts, but will be used by other VVIPs as well. These aircrafts will belong to the Indian Air Force and not the Prime Minister. And the entire exercise for purchasing them, the need was felt under the UPA. So, Dr. Trivedi, first of all, the question is not about what he is buying and what Kejriwal ji is buying. That was yesterday's story. At least the government of India announced it in its budget that they were going to be buying these planes, so that Dr. Trivedi could ask these questions. But Mr. Kejriwal's government did not announce that it was going to be demolishing, forget about altering, this is not about altering, viewers, demolishing a heritage building It did not tell anybody. Show me one press release, viewers, where this announcement was made in 2020. It didn't even tell the watchdog that they have this proposal. It sanctions the money before getting the plans approved by the watchdog. Even, viewers, it stands to reason, if the plan, if the entire proposal is not approved, how can a plan be approved? So, viewers, at two levels, there was an attempt to keep this secret. The third level, of course, is that the expenses were very cleverly divided into 5 stages. And each of those work orders was deliberately kept under 10 crore, so that no one needed to know. The ministry itself could sanction without even the LG knowing. This secrecy is the problem, viewers. Okay, the Prime Minister wants to redevelop the central Vista. That also is, of course, something that began under the UPA. Fair enough. But he told the whole world about it. Advertisements were put out. The matter went to the Supreme Court. And on that, let me also tell you, viewers, let's talk about that a little bit more. The other observation that our friend here made was that, the central Vista, the Prime Minister is giving himself this big home. So, viewers, we did some scratching around for you so that I can present the facts. Now, viewers, what do we know? The estimated cost of the Prime Minister's new bungalow spread across 36,268 square feet is rupees 46 crores, while the actual cost of the Central Vista project is to be 20,000 crores. Now, viewers, let me put this out for you in black and white. The complex that we are talking about, this Prime Minister's residence complex, and the Supreme Court has gone into it, each rupee has been accounted for, will include the Prime Minister's home office, the Special Protection Group Office, Seva Sadan, a guest house and basement parking spread across 21,000 square meters. The CPWD has said this on record. A sewage treatment plant, a rainwater harvesting system, 25 watchtowers, 4 entry-exit gates with security systems would be a part of the contract. The site is a highly secured zone. The proposed building will be reinforced of cement concrete frame structure building. The existing structures in block A and B are to be demolished before the start of the new construction. All of this, viewers, encompasses. This is not just about a beautiful house with 10 lakh rupees per window curtains, lovely wall paneling. So I just hope, viewers, I have been able to answer. Now, let me also tell you, viewers, that there is a query that Dr. raised, Trivedi, about the Prime Minister's visit to Dharwad and how money is being spent there. Now, it is noted that most of the huge expenses were incurred to ferry people and provide the amenities like tents and food. As per the details provided by the government, rupees 2.83 crore has been spent on KSRTC buses to ferry people from various places to the venue and back. Again, viewers, this was a publicly announced program, not some sort of secret exploration. Let me bring in Abhijit Iyer Mitra. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, Dr. Trivedi has a problem. He says, look how the others are spending. Forget about the fact that Mr. Kejriwal promised that he would never live in a house like this. But he graduated from driving a Wagon-R, then got an Innova, and now, of course, jets around in private aircrafts, and also, of course, has these long cavalcades. And then he says, but what do? I need security. But he'll grudge the Prime Minister his need for security. Then we were told, I'll never live in a house. And I can play out that soundbite. Let's bring it out. Where he said, मैं कभी बड़े आलीशान बगान में नहीं रहूंगा. मकान में नहीं रहूंगा. बगान भी है जी, आलीशान मकान का. And now he's living in a 45 crore, sorry to say, viewers, in my book, a palace which has been built on work orders for which no tender has been put out. I don't even know if it is actually worth 45 crores. All the fittings there amount to that much, or there has been. And I spoke to someone, viewers, someone in that body, the watchdog today, who went on, he said, I don't want to be taken on record, but I have my sincere doubts, he said this to me, about whether these bills that have been presented are genuine or not. So I just want you to come in, Mr. Mitra Iyer, and give your view on this.
Thanks for having me, Rahul. So see, I come from this from two perspectives, not just public policy, but I've also been building a house for the last 2 years. So I've been researching all of this, what is available in Delhi and things like that. Now, you know, the first thing that I looked at was double glazed windows available in the market. Nowhere have I found a quote matching what I'm seeing in this particular thing. Even the highest end, which was Fenesta, which was triple glazed with argon gas in between, and 20 thick panels in each, this thing with shatterproof. It's called RC4 security. RC4 security means it takes 30 minutes for a guy with a hammer to break it. Comes to this level of costing. Okay, there is very good marble. You go look at any South Delhi builder floor, no South Delhi builder floor, 500 square yards, 600, even up to 1000 square yards, give you more than 800 rupees per square foot marble. The per square footage cost of marble used in this house is 6,000 rupees. Okay, in the kitchen, if you go in for the finest fittings for your kitchen, Miele ki to baat chhod do. Miele is like ultra price range, but even there, a Miele oven costs about 5 lakhs. A single burner Miele hob costs about 1.2 lakhs. I'm settling for Siemens, which comes to about 35-40. The list price is 80. मेरे को discount में मिला 35-40 के लिए. Induction मेरे को मिला 80,000 के लिए. How did this, you go to a Hefele, I invite all our viewers to go to a Hefele or Heritage showroom and do a costing of a nice kitchen themselves, choosing the materials available to them. There is no way in hell a kitchen can come over 25 to 30 lakhs. This kitchen has come to 1 crore, over 1 crore. Now, I also looked for this because I'm a big, I love chefing. I looked for this one unique piece of equipment that Mr. Kejriwal has had installed, which is a built-in barbecue, built-in charcoal tandoor. And when I was looking for it 2 years back, it was only available imported from Brazil for all places. Cost was 35-40 lakhs. Now, in India, you can buy a tandoor for 10,000 rupees and just install it in the garden outside. This is a bangla. I don't even have a bangla, I have a flat. I have a better reason to install it inside than this gentleman has to install it inside the house. There has been severe overbilling out here. None of the costs are adding up.
But we will never
For
know.
my own house, I've chosen a smart package of, smart lights and electrically closable windows and, controlled by phone lights and water heating and all of that. It comes to a few lakhs.
But Mr. Mitra,
where are these 5 crores of electricity?
You know, you must live in a kutir, because
I'm
Kejriwal lives in a...
No, I beg for my food. So
that's what I'm saying. So Kejriwal is living in a palace. So you have to understand that it's not one light, must be hundreds of lights. I mean, they say...
But
they say sunlight
Rahul,
is the best antiseptic. Maybe Kejriwal ji thinks it's light that is the best antiseptic. तो सारी जगह लाइटें लगा दो, सब कुछ दिखेगा उनको. हमें तो कुछ नहीं दिख रहा. In fact, viewers, I just want to show you some pictures today. Not just us, not just Times Now, but many other Aam Admis, all of us who suddenly wanted, actually enthused by this story, they wanted to go and see this mansion. So they said, let's go. Where is our money being spent? They were thrown out. They were not allowed. Viewers, we were not allowed to attend a press conference. So they had a press conference with all the media, the Lutyens media, viewers, the Lutyens media, remember, who don't ask questions. They don't ask questions of the Lal and Rahul Gandhi and all that. Unse dant khate. You see, viewers, they didn't even allow us to ask the pertinent questions because they may not have the pertinent responses. Abhijit Iyer Mitra is telling you. And I think you should all go to some, I don't know, Hafele or whatever it is, these showrooms. Go and check it out for yourself. Go on to the DUAC, sir. And they talk about, oh, Modi has spent so much money on this Central Vista. At least Modi had a proper vetting done. Viewers, invites were put out, a competition was held on finding the best architect to design that central vista. It was a very transparent exercise. Yahan to chip ke ho raha hai sab kuch. And this is what Kejriwal ji said. And I also want to go across to Miss Radhika from Bengaluru and Shailendra, who's calling in from Thane. I want to first take them. Miss Radhika, what do you believe? What do you believe today? Are you there with us? Okay. So you must tell me if I've lost one of our viewers. Shailendra calling in. Good evening, sir. Go ahead from Thane.
Hi, Rahul. Good evening. I would like to really thank you for, bringing this out. Yeah. Look, the first question asked is, what is the objective of getting this party in place when they entered the political arena?
Yeah.
They were named as AAP, right? Aam Aadmi Party.
Yeah.
And now, after years of existence in the political circle, now we are back to. I'm actually reminded of a CWG scam, where these kind of prices we would really think about that are these prices being really actual or are being inflated. So I think what I understand here is it's a complete disgrace. It actually doesn't justify. You are comparing a private mansion to a public office.
Absolutely, sir. I mean, look, that's the way it is, and none of us know. Luckily, there are some traces because we got the documents, etc. Otherwise, none of us would have known about this. The nation today is talking about Times Now's Operation Sheesh Mahal. This is out there, viewers. The hypocrisy is exposed. And we deserve answers. We're the taxpayers. We need to know why these costs were kept under the threshold of 10 crores. Why was there such a desire to not go for an open tendering process? Tehseen Poonawalla, look, the Congress party has come out and sought answers. You're a sympathizer of the Congress party. You are related to the family of the Congress party. I'm sure it tickles you also. I mean, you can deflect tonight, like Dr. Trivedi is, by saying Central Vista pe bhi kitna crore spend ho gaya, ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya. I can ask you that why is Rahul Gandhi not moving out? Why is he now, moving in with his mother and, wants to still live off the Indian state when he has so many properties? We can have that. It's not going to suit the purpose. I'm asking you tonight, Tehseen Poonawalla, what does this reek of in your mind?
Thank you for having me, Rahul. And there was a tweet thread that went very viral today done by Abhijit. And Abhijit clearly explained the difference between the Prime Minister's residence and the Chief Minister's residence. The Prime Minister's residence also acts as a nerve center in terms of emergency and the technology and other things that are required for it to become a command center. So so far as that is concerned, I think it's juvenile and puerile to compare the Prime Minister's residence to any Chief Minister or Minister's residence, let alone Mr. Gandhi's residence. For your fact check, Mr. Gandhi's already moved out and he's under security threat. And if you think Mr. Gandhi should not live with his mother, that's fine. I mean, that's an opinion you can hold, but he's not, he's lost his father and his grandmother have sacrificed their life for this country. You can ask the Honorable Prime Minister to take away security. They've already downgraded the SPG and given, so you can, that's fine. That's a democracy. The fact is that Mr. Kejriwal started his political career or his activism in the IAC. He accused everybody of being corrupt. And he said, look, if there's an allegation made upon you, step down until you prove yourself innocent. This is true for CWG, of you just spoke about, in which nothing has come out. 2G, nothing has come out. This man, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal ji, created havoc in our country. He used anarchy to destroy the economy of the country, supported by the BJP. The BJP supported it. Most of these Arvind Kejriwal loonies, because they're left loonies, joined the BJP later on. No doubt about it. But Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has not stuck to the promises he made to the people of this country. And that is the only question that Arvind Kejriwal ji needs to answer. I absolutely have certain sympathy for those who are against the BJP, because ideologically I'm completely against the BJP. I think politically it's not a party suited for our country. But Arvind Kejriwal ji needs to answer. Throwing the Times Now out of its press conference, not allowing access. I think is running away from all those principles Arvind Kejriwal ji stood for.
Okay.
He needs to come, give you an interview. He's spoken to you before.
No,
you are a fair
he won't.
journalist.
He won't.
And no, but he's spoken to you before. You're a fair journalist.
Question. There are many leaders who don't like to appear either on India Upfront or give me interviews, because you know, Mr. Poonawala, I will never shy away from asking the tough question. People who don't want to answer the tough questions run from me. You know that. So let's settle that. Forget it. He won't. I just hope he gives other journalists from Times Now an opportunity to ask those questions. He may not like my face, but certainly others deserve. Because viewers, look, I'm public facing. I will ask the questions that you want answered. Enough of this whataboutery, usne itna spend kiya isne. You've gone out of your way to not take approvals or delay them. You started work before taking an approval, a basic approval. Forget about getting your plans sanctioned by the MCD, the Municipal Corporation of Delhi. Forget about, viewers, even floating tenders. You didn't even want this entire project scrutinized by an authority, the LG, who runs half of the union capital. There's no question. You talk about cooperative federalism and all this, it's all nonsense. The point is, why?
Can we have a CAG audit?
Why didn't
Can we have a CAG audit?
Sorry?
Can we ask for a CAG audit?
Of course. It's a free country. We can ask for. We should ask. Viewers, not just for
a campaign. Times Now should run a campaign.
We will. We will run a campaign. We are already asking that question. But we can only ask that question, viewers of the government at the center, who has to oblige us. So the question is out there. And on that point, I just want to quickly go across to the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson here, Ashish Sood. There's also, of course, the BJP MP, Gautam Gambhir. Let me begin with you, Mr. Gautam Gambhir. You've heard the AAP's response. What's your view, Mr. Gambhir, on what the AAP has been saying in its defense so far? They've been saying that, oh, the Prime Minister, this, that, the other, everyone spends. What's wrong? Humne bhi thoda kar diya, kya hai? Don't grudge us. 45 crores is nothing.
No, pretty shameful. And this was bound to happen. And the reason is because you can't hide your real face and your real identity for such a long period of time. And for me, it was not only about spending 45 crores. Whatever little I've seen from your medium that about this Operation Sheesh Mahal, for me, it was not about 45 crores. It was just the timing of when it was spent, right in the middle of Corona.
Timing.
And when people were running from pillar to post, when there were no oxygen in Delhi. So that is something which is very shameful. And you know what? We've been saying this for such a long period of time that eventually this man is a fake man. That is all I can say.
No, so
and now he's getting exposed, and he's going to get exposed even further in future as well.
Okay, you raised the timing issue. Why? What is odd about the timing? Mr. Kejriwal said the building was falling on his head. What can I do?
Look, I've said this many times. Not only now when you've exposed him even further, I've said it in all my interviews during the pandemic, even after that, even before that when I entered politics. I have been saying this very clearly that his ambition or his emotions are not with the people of Delhi. Unfortunately, he's made Delhi a milking cow. कि यहाँ से लोगों से पैसा वसूल करो और बाकी स्टेट्स में जाके इलेक्शन लड़ो. And it is very clear. And I'm showing going forward because कितने लंबे समय तक आप अपना असली चेहरा छुपा पाएंगे? कभी ना कभी आप एक्सपोज हो जाते हैं. जो आपके अंदर होता है, जो आपकी नियत होती है, वो आपके चेहरे पे आ ही जाती है. And good that channels like you, such a big channel, are now started to expose him, because इससे पहले no one used to ask him such questions. No one ever exposed him. And we've been saying it every time that he does not want to work for the people of Delhi. When we used to ask him questions about school, colleges, hospital, the amount of budget he's kept for advertisement, and now more importantly when he spends 45 crores during the peak of pandemic, तो इससे दर्शाता है कि आप कितना सेल्फ सेंट्रिक हो या कितने आपको सेल्फ ऑब्सेशन है. जिस आदमी को अपने आप से इतना ऑब्सेशन होता है वही इस तरीके की हरकतें करता है. जिसको देश या लोगों के साथ इमोशन होता है, जो देश की एक्चुअल सेवा करना चाहता है, लोगों की सेवा करना चाहता है, वो ये भी कह सकता था कि मैं रेनोवेशन करवा लूंगा या जो भी इन्होंने करवाया है. आई डोंट वांट टू गेट इनटू द डिटेल्स ऑफ इट, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. वो आप 2 साल 3 साल 4 साल बाद भी करा सकते थे. कोई उसमें ऐसा नहीं हो रहा था कि कोई चीज बिल्कुल खराब हो जाती है, कोई चीज बिल्कुल डिमोलिश हो जाती है, बिल्कुल गिर जाती. तो मेरा मानना है कि जब आप इतने सेल्फ ऑब्सेस्ड होते हैं और आपको अपने से आगे कुछ दिखता नहीं है, these things happen and these things will keep getting exposed even in future.
But the AAP says, look, we are not the only ones. There are others who are equally self-obsessed. They talk about the 500 crores spent on Prime Minister Modi's residence, calling it a vanity project. You heard the press conference, your response to that.
What do I make of this? I make of this as even more shameful. You should talk about your own CM. In last 8 years, every time they've been cornered, they started talking about other people. PM का घर देखिए, दूसरे चीफ मिनिस्टर्स का घर देखिए. आप अपने बारे में बात करिए. जब एक्साइज पॉलिसी की बात आती है तो आप एजुकेशन और हेल्थ की बात करते हैं. अब जब आप कॉर्नर्ड हो गए हैं तो आप किसी और सीएम की बात करिए, प्रधानमंत्री जी की. तो आप प्रधानमंत्री जी के जो प्रोटोकॉल्स हैं वो सीएम के प्रोटोकॉल से बहुत जमीन आसमान का फर्क है. और एक चीज मैं जरूर ये कहना चाहूंगा आपके माध्यम से कि कम से कम भगत सिंह जी की फोटो पीछे लगाना बंद करिए, क्योंकि भगत सिंह जी के बारे में बात करना, उनकी फोटो लगाना आसान है, उनके दिखाए हुए रस्तों पे चलना बहुत मुश्किल है. बहुत बड़ा सैक्रिफाइस चाहिए, बहुत बड़ी ईमानदारी चाहिए, सच्चाई चाहिए और देश के प्रति इमोशन चाहिए, जो एक भी क्वालिटी आप लोगों में नहीं है. भगत सिंह जी का नाम इस्तेमाल करना बंद करिए. जैसे महात्मा गांधी सबके वैसे भगत सिंह भी सबके. तो उनकी अगर आपकी नीयत इस तरीके की है, कम से कम इतना कर सकते हैं दिल्ली या देश की जनता के लिए कि उनका नाम इस्तेमाल करना कम करिए. और जहां तक ये जो आप हर बार ये कहते हैं कि देखिए उनकी बात करते हैं, उनकी बात करते हैं, आप अपने बात करिए. यहां पर आज दिल्ली के सीएम की बात हो रही है, दिल्ली की जनता को जिन्होंने बिट्रे किया था इन द पीक ऑफ पैंडेमिक. So talk about that. Don't talk about what other teams are doing.
Mr. Gambhir batting on the front foot tonight. I can't, of course, underwrite all those accusations that you have made. Some of them, of course, need to be sort of borne out. So I'm not going to underwrite them. Times Now is not taking responsibility for what Mr. Gautam Gambhir is saying in his private capacity and, of course, as a representative of the Bharatiya Janata Party and a member of parliament. But, viewers, the fact is that a bitter war of words has broken out. And Anirban Banerjee is with us. Ishkaran Bhandari is also with us. Ashish Sood of the Bharatiya Janata Party also with us, yet to speak. Thank you for your patience, gentlemen. Quickly, I want to go across to Mr. Anil, who's calling in this evening. Mr. Anil, your response to the question.
Good evening, Rahul.
Good evening, sir.
I retired as a general manager in one of the public sectors.
Right.
10 years back.
Okay.
And all the companies across India and government organizations follow the CVC compendium for enforcing the strict discipline and vigilance in the department. There are two major violations out here. The verbal work order has been given without prior sanction. One. Then another is splitting the work to bring it within the total spending limit of the authority.
Yeah.
These two are the major
problems.
Major violations in the as per the CVC.
Now, I don't know, viewers. I think Mr. Anil bow to his experience speaking with obviously authority there. The only thing I can't say right now, viewers, with any conclusiveness is whether this was sin of omission or commission. Let's give them the benefit of doubt. Sin of omission. पता नहीं था किसके पास जाना है. पता नहीं था कि भैया हमारे को अप्रूवल लेना है from the watchdog. ये भी हो सकता है. आम आदमी पार्टी has said that they don't believe in institutionalism. They are anarchists. So भैया मन चला तो घर बना दिया. अब किसके पास जाना है उसकी परमिशन लेने हमें पता नहीं. किसी को भी पकड़ के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट भी दे दिया. Maybe they don't have an idea. Because if you go by what the ED has claimed in Liquorgate, that's how it went, viewers, there also. So, I don't know, but these are serious questions, and you have to answer them. The AAP leadership must come out. They've been pampered far too long. Latvians will not ask you the questions. We will ask you questions. Come on our channel, prove to us that this is not a palpable sin of commission, that this was chalo ho gaya. It was, we messed up. We take responsibility. Anyhow, let me bring in Anirban Banerjee and also Ishkaran Bhandari. Before that, Pankaj calling in. Pankaj, what do you have to say tonight, sir?
Rahul ji, हमारी तरफ से hello.
Yes, sir. Please, I can hear you.
राहुल जी, हमारी तरफ से थोड़ा सा त्रिवेदी साहब को रिक्वेस्ट कर दीजिए
जी
कि इसकी घर की थोड़ी प्रदर्शनी लगवा देंगे संडे टू संडे. हमने आज तक कभी 9 लाख के पर्दे देखे नहीं है, तो एक बार उनको छू के देखने की तमन्ना है. दिल में कि वो पर्दे छूने में कैसे
त्रिवेदी से पूछता हूँ,
फीलिंग आती है।
त्रिवेदी साहब
अपने लिए 5-10 रुपए का टिकट लगा लीजिए, कोई बात नहीं।
हाँ, उससे पैसे भी बन जाएंगे, भारत सरकार को भी थोड़ा मिल जाएगा, दिल्ली सरकार को भी मिलेगा। आप लोग आई एम श्योर ऐसे देखिए, ये तो बहुत अच्छा सजेशन, मैंने कल ये सजेशन दिया था। आई सेड yesterday that you know in foreign countries very rich people they open their homes for public viewing, then they charge you also a ticket price, they raise money that way. So Mr. Kejriwal always says that his government is broke, यहाँ से उनको additional income भी मिल जाएगा, so you'll recover the costs. Dr. Trivedi, don't you think this is a good idea? Open the house, let people come in and see these curtains, the total cost which is more than 1 crore, each one of them supposedly is 10 lakhs, because that is what these work orders are saying.
Rahul ji,
yes,
I mean,
yes sir.
I just want to add one thing. I mean, like whatever respected, I mean, like all the viewers, I mean, whatever the panelists said, I mean, but I just want to tell that if it is happening in a Delhi state, then I mean it should be in every state where there should be audit of every expense and accordingly to the all these things. Why every BJP is so desperate to target Kejriwal and this thing and whatever. The propaganda which BJP is trying.
का कोई रोल नहीं है, Dr. Trivedi. This is a story broken by Times Now, Navbharat, the Times Network. This is not the BJP. We broke this story. The BJP will jump on it.
Sir, I think Times Now also should go into different states. This conspiracy that
Dr. Trivedi, go and see past debates. Excuse me, Dr. Trivedi. Dr. Trivedi, look, one second. Dr. Trivedi, I'm not going to entertain this nonsense. Dr. Trivedi.
The party is not institutional.
Okay,
let me tell you that there is one person whose
Dr.
degree
Trivedi.
was
Dr. Trivedi.
that was sacked by 25,000 rupees of fine.
Okay, Dr. Trivedi, look, I'll tell you something about myself. I present myself here every night to take questions, to answer questions. I'm very open and transparent. You want to question selectiveness, etc. Don't forget, we were the first and asked the hardest questions on the Morbi bridge collapse. आपकी पार्टी से भी बहुत लोग आके हमारे को clap कर रहे थे. अरे जबरदस्त सवाल पूछा. I think Mr. Poonawala was there during those debates.
I was there.
He was there.
Night after night on this channel, I say I keep criticizing the Honorable Prime Minister and Home Minister.
Many things.
Night after night. It's not about don't shoot the messenger.
No, but they have.
Answer the question.
They have. They love to shoot the messenger. Those messengers that they cannot reach out to, they'll shoot. So anyhow, that is immaterial. Mr. Banerjee, I'm used to it. So Mr. Banerjee, I just want to ask you, where do you stand on this? Do you think Mr. Kejriwal should explain why approvals were not taken at the very beginning? Construction begins. The watchdog is not consulted. Nothing happens.
Sir, that might be, sir, one possibility that initially it started with a renovation where, I mean, the trust was...
no, sir, it didn't start with a renovation. I'll read out. Now, you see, viewers, this is the problem. This is the reason why Mr. Kejriwal and his party will not come on this channel.
Rebuilding.
I will read the DUAC note to you. Viewers, now pay attention.
I mean,
this has also been addressed, and it is a public-facing document. So please go to your computer and open it. I request all our viewers today to go on the Delhi Urban Arts Commission, statutory body set up by an Act of Parliament, the website. Go to the minutes of the meeting recorded on 6th November 2020. And what does this say? Dr. Trivedi says, maybe it started out as a renovation and then became a reconstruction. No, viewers, it never did. This is admitted to in this document. I'll read it out to you. The formal proposal received at formal stage was scrutinized and following observations were given. A. It is mentioned in the project details. Pro forma forward of the proposal to DUAC Part A, serial number 16. That the site work has already commenced. Construction can commence only after approval. This is by the admission in the proposal. B, point B, as per the subject project title. And here is the work order which is said, which has that title, viewers. I'll show it to you. Right here, it is in front of my face. As per the subject project title, the proposal is for additions, alterations. However, it is clearly evident from the submission. What submission? The submission that was made to the DUAC, that an entirely new building is being proposed after completely demolishing the existing structure. This needs clarification. So they admitted, viewers, that an entirely new building is being proposed after completely demolishing the existing structure. They told the DUAC, but they told the DUAC, viewers, almost 9 weeks after they began the work. Why, Anindman Banerjee? Why? And doesn't this require some amount of investigation? Doesn't it require an answer? Or are we going to say, oh, Prime Minister spent so much money, so it's okay?
Now, Rahul, every political party or every political leader in our country owes an explanation to the common people, to the media. The only exception seems to be Mr. Narendra Modi. Since he has become the Prime Minister of our country, the last 9 years, not a single press conference. He has attended no questions, no open press conferences. Therefore, if you are asking that whether Mr. Kejriwal or the AAP is going to give some explanations, the same questions should be asked of the BJP, that why does the Prime Minister not answer the questions from the media and in open press conference? He doesn't even answer the opposition in the parliament. Therefore, in this case, what I have, when I have gone through the articles, the estimate was around 43 crores and the amount that was spent eventually was around 44 point something crores. While the present residence of the Prime Minister estimation was 27 crores and the expenditure was 89 crores. Therefore, if we are speaking about discrepancies, let's put things to context. This is the context. A while back, Mr. Iyer was comparing a common man's home with a chief minister's residence. Then why not also compare it with the prime minister's residence? Why doesn't he come up with the prices of curtains, of windows, of doors, etc., that takes the total expenditure to 476 crores, the proposed prime minister's residence in the central Vista. And Mr. Gambhir, he was speaking about the timing of this project. The central Vista was announced, it was planned, it was the execution began during the Corona period. There were corpses which were floating in rivers in Uttar Pradesh, double engine Sarkar. We have seen corpses floating in the rivers, corpses after corpses, hundreds of them, and yet the Central Vista project was announced, it went on and on. In this case, if there is a procedural lapse, my question is, why did the DUAC allow this project after 60 days or 50 days, whatever you are claiming? And why? What was the MCD doing? It was under the BJP at that time. If this construction, according to you, was illegal, why was the MCD sleeping? The BJP has to answer this. If they cannot answer it, only the AAP has to answer the people and the BJP goes scot-free. That doesn't work. That logic doesn't work.
Okay, so there are three problems here with what Mr. Banerjee has told us. Now let me break it down for you viewers. He's probably not heard this story, or perhaps he's pretending that he hasn't heard what we have been telling you. The problem is, as I said, forget even the timing. The problem is about sanctioning money without approvals. It is about keeping costs to a point where you don't actually need to escalate this matter and get sanction of even the Lieutenant Governor. You don't even need the sanction of the Engineer-in-Chief of the Public Works Department. Can you believe it, viewers? A Chief Minister's residence is being built without the Engineer-in-Chief of the PWD knowing. Then again, viewers, the larger problem is this has gone completely unreported. No one even knows. Whatever examples that Mr. Banerjee is talking about was public knowledge. The Supreme Court went into it. There were cases filed about the Central Vista, articles written, public consultations, and tenders were floated. Here, zero tenders. There is a monumental problem here. Mr. Sood, nonetheless, you need to respond tonight to what Mr. Banerjee and others are saying, Dr. Trivedi, etc.
Look, Rahul, what Mr. Banerjee was saying is, that remembers me of a very old saying. हिंदी में कहते हैं माले मुफ्त दिले बेरहम, मुफ्त का माल है कहीं भी खर्चे.
Okay.
And Mr. Banerjee must not have heard.
I need specific responses on what the Prime Minister, the accusations against the Prime Minister, very quickly. I I don't have much time. I want to bring in Ishkaran Bhandari also.
No. These people keep a victimhood card in their pocket.
Okay, so it's a victimhood card.
To flaunt that card every time.
The BJP says it's a victimhood card. Ishkaran Bhandari, one second, sir. One second. Ishkaran Bhandari, victimhood card. What is it? I'm really grateful to you for spending this much time without actually having said a word.
Rahul, I've been waiting very patiently for 50 minutes. I hope nobody will interrupt me now.
No.
Let us be very clear. This spending, this building a veritable palace of Versailles would have damaged Arvind Kejriwal way more than these corruption cases also. I don't need to say anything. What would Arvind Kejriwal of 2012 have spoken about a CM who built a palace of 45 crores for himself? They came promising we will not even take a 5-bedroom apartment when they were in coalition government with Congress. But once they got absolute power, what do? Allegedly, some plaster broke from the roof, so you spent 45 crores. Reminds you of Marie Antoinette. If people can't have bread, why don't they eat cakes? That is exactly what was going on here. Let us deal with it fact by fact. Firstly, when you do not do tender, when you do multiple layering of a tender, that also requires an investigation by appropriate authorities. Did they have the power to do it? Did they not know the first day what will be the total cost of the project? Why were they dividing it into so many stages? What was the motivation behind that? What was the reason to hide it from public scrutiny? Were public tenders done? What is the actual costing? How did you end up spending so much money of taxpayers' money? Okay. Second aspect is what you portray to the public. You wear a crumpled shirt, a crumpled pant to show you are a common man, aam aadmi. But when you live in your house behind the curtains, you build a palace for yourself. That is why I started by saying this will damage in the long run more than the corruption case. For corruption, you can blame ED, CBI till the decision comes. But these documents, man may lie, but work orders do not lie.
Work orders do not lie. I leave it at that. That's the final word on this show. Was very articulately put out. The news are coming up with Navika Kumar.